Hello and a very good evening to you. Welcome to ITV News and to Friday night's calendar, and we're coming to you live from the North Yorkshire constituency of Selby and Ainsty, which tonight sits under Labour control for the first time after a record-breaking night in British politics.
Mather, Keir Alexander, Labour Party, 16,456.
Yes, Labour's Keir Mather overturned a mammoth Conservative majority of 20,000, the biggest ever by his party in a by-election. At 25, he's become the youngest MP in the House of Commons.
I'm so incredibly proud and privileged to have been elected as Member of Parliament for Selby and Ainsty, but the hard work starts now and I can't wait to deliver for all of those people who voted Labour for the first time, but for everyone in this constituency who deserves a fresh start.
And Labour's newest MP got a visit from his boss, who wanted to be part of the celebrations in North Yorkshire.
Last night, many people put their trust in the Labour Party, and we know as we go forward that we must continue to earn the trust and to deliver if we get the chance in a Labour government.
It's a very proud and happy Sir Keir Starmer, but can Labour really repeat the success of Selby at a general election? We'll be asking that question when I return shortly.
Thanks, Ian. We'll be back with you shortly. Of course, our coverage tonight is dominated by the by-election, but there's plenty more coming up in the next half hour.
Elderly evictions. 19 residents, including a 103-year-old woman, are told they'll have to move out of this Yorkshire care home as bosses say they need to balance the books.
These are the most vulnerable people in our society who are being penalised for nothing more than the fact that they're funded by the local authority. My mum's never taken anything from the state in her life. I think it's absolutely scandalous.
Looking for Daly again, and she wasn't going to miss that one.
Ready to roar, Harrogate's Rachel Daly says she'll do her country and her late dad proud when the Lionesses World Cup campaign kicks off tomorrow.
And there's definitely not a day that goes by where I don't think about him. Hopefully his legacy will live on through me. I'm playing with a smile on my face, I'm happy, I'm confident, I'm enjoying my game and I'm happy at the minute.
And here we sew. This Lioness superfan is making her own England-themed scrunchies with one goal in mind.
So hello, a very good evening to you. Welcome to the programme and welcome to Selby. We have made history. The words today of Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer as he reflected on his party's stunning victory in the Selby and Ainsty by-election. Now, for the first time, this constituency is under Labour control after they managed to turn over a 20,000 Tory majority. Quite an achievement. The by-election was called when the Conservative Nigel Adams stood down as an MP. The new MP, though, is another Keir Mather, and he's only 25 years old. Our political correspondent Katie Oscroft has been following the events of the last day.
The morning after a historic night. The party faithful, its leader and deputy leader gathered on Selby Town's football ground, triumphant.
It's the first time ever I've been able to say, well done, Keir. Keir Mather, the MP, the new MP, fantastic.
And this is how that came about in the early hours.
I hereby declare that Keir Mather is duly elected.
Labour broke records by overturning a huge Conservative majority.
Now, I want to begin my time as your MP by being very clear. I understand the enormity of what has just happened. I know what an honour this is.
Only a few hours later, and this is Keir Mather's home turf.
Through your dedication and by going out and speaking to voters and making that case, we have made it possible. People are feeling positive, they are feeling enthusiastic about the future.
But on the streets he now represents, constituents were less enthusiastic, whilst Rishi Sunak, his new boss, has a 5-point plan Connor offers your £5 a day.
Labour was going 10 to the dozen on advertising. Conservatives were barely there. I think it pretty much said it all.
There's lots of experts predicting the result, but I guess you're the expert because you've got people coming in all the time. What were they saying?
Majority of people, they're just not bothered. Just weren't going to vote.
And if the soundtrack to a Labour victory is here, it's not yet a hit.
Is there anything that the new MP can do for you? Do you want to put in a request?
Yeah, keep local businesses, keep rates low, and keep footfall in Selby high. That's what, and bus services and everything for the community.
Keir Mather says he wants to improve public transport and local NHS services.
So what exactly are you going to do first?
So on the cost of living front, which is my number one priority, I've committed to setting up financial support hubs across the constituency so that people can access expert advice, whether that is on your mortgage rate or your energy bills, because people need support from day one, and I'm determined to deliver it.
He will enter Parliament after recess, where his colleagues will once again welcome him with open arms.
It's a great feeling.
After a victory which has turned this once true blue constituency into Labour red. Katie Oscroft, ITV News, Selby.
Well, she's still awake, I have to say, and Katie's with me now. Katie, what an historic night. You've been there to witness it all, of course, in person. But just tell us about this new MP, this 25-year-old.
Yeah, it was a famous victory, Ian, but Keir Mather, when he enters Parliament in September, he will be the youngest MP there. Now, he's from Hull, but he says he's moving to the Selby and Ainsty constituency. He says he feels that part of his job. But little known fact about him, he broke 2 fingers on his handshaking hand during the campaign. It was a rugby injury, but he says he soldiered on.
That's unfortunate, and he certainly did soldier on. Now, let's talk about the Labour Party here. Can this translate into a general election victory for Labour?
Well, Labour are absolutely milking this victory, as well they might, but whilst people are saying, well done young Keir, there are still those questions about whether the other Keir has the charisma to lead his party into a general election victory.
And of course, one of the neighbouring North Yorkshire MPs, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, he'll not be too happy about this result.
No, he was in a cafe today with the Tories' only success of the night. That's in Boris Johnson's former seat. A bit more sympathy than tea needed there. He's putting on a very brave face and saying it's not a done deal about the next general election going to Labour. But privately, many of his MPs have concerns.
OK, Katie, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Well, I caught up with the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, earlier. I was allowed to ask him one question. I actually asked him 3. And I asked him for his reaction to what actually happened.
The result here in Selby and Ainsty is absolutely incredible. It's the first time that the Labour Party in its history has overturned a 20,000 majority in a former Conservative seat. And I think it shows that after we've now changed the party, we can win anywhere, including in places that were Tory strongholds. So I know the people in this constituency have put their trust in the Labour Party, in Keir Mather as the new MP, and we will deliver on that trust.
We know that this is a great result, obviously, for the Labour Party here in Selby and Ainsty. But there's no guarantee, is there, that you're the next new Prime Minister, you're the next Prime Minister?
Well, every vote has to be earned. But this is an incredible result. Never in the history of the Labour Party have we overturned a 20,000 majority in a Tory heartland. So I know that we have to go forward from here. We have to continue with that positive message. We have to earn every vote. But last night, many people put their trust in the Labour Party, and we know as we go forward that we must continue to earn the trust and to deliver, if we get the chance in a Labour government, on the very many aspirations of people in this constituency.
What are Labour's priorities for this constituency?
Oh, the priorities for this constituency are to ensure that everybody has the opportunity to get on, that public services are working well, that the economy grows, and that there's a sense of a country moving forward. And so this is a big step forward towards the general election. Never before in our history have we done this. I'm very proud of the team here.
So, Katie, Sir Keir Starmer there, very clear. He says he knows he's going to have to earn every single vote when it comes to the general election, and you'd agree with that?
Yes, but he will be buoyed up by this. Make no mistake, this was a blue wall seat, one that they wouldn't expect to win even if they got victory in the general election. So we'll be hoping to take this momentum into the next election, whenever that might be. OK,
Katie, thank you very much indeed. So history in the making here. Live from Selby, it's back to the studio for the rest of the day's news with Lara and Michael.
Well, thank you, Ian and Katie. Really, really interesting there in Selby. Well, to other news now, and fears for the future of vulnerable residents at a West Yorkshire care home after 19 families were told their elderly relatives, including a 103-year-old woman, were being evicted.
West Riding's care home in Outwood has blamed staffing and cost pressures for the move, which means it could shut down one of its 4 units.
That has left the affected residents, all of whom have been care funded by the local council, with just 6 weeks to find a new home. Jonathan Brown reports.
Visiting her mum in the place she calls home.
Hiya.
But what Julie hasn't yet told Doreen, who's 86, is that she's been served an eviction notice.
She's been through enough already. She's survived the pandemic, and now to have to go through this.
Doreen's been at West Riding's care home in Outwood for 4 years, but this week her daughter was told she has until August the 28th to find her somewhere else to live.
These are the most vulnerable people in our society who are being penalised for nothing more than the fact that they're funded by the local authority. They've got no choice and no voice. It's absolutely shocking.
And Julie's far from alone. Tom and Marie's mothers are also among the 19 residents served notices. They also rely on local authority funding, but are now left searching for beds which are in short supply and can come at a huge premium.
I wanted a £700 top-up per week from relatives. We can't afford to pay £700 every week. My feelings are that once they move her, she won't last that long because she can't take all this change.
My mother dedicated her life to care, and this is how she's repaid. What's to say the next nursing home doesn't do the same, and they become care home refugees, just moving from one place to the next.
Today, residents' families went to meet the Advinia-run home's bosses, as well as Wakefield Council officials, though charities say their situation is becoming more and more common.
This is a crisis that has been bubbling for years, and we urgently need the government and local authorities and care providers and the regulator to come together.
Well, no one from the care home would speak to us on camera, but in a statement they blamed ongoing staffing and cost pressures brought on by the lack of appropriate funding for the care sector. They said that makes it difficult to continue to operate a home like this at its current size. Meanwhile, the Department of Health and Social Care spokesperson said, "We are providing up to an additional £7.5 billion for social care over the next 2 years, including £1.4 billion to help reduce adult social care waiting times, increase workforce capacity and retention, as well as increase fee rates paid to adult social care providers." But for the likes of Julie, Marie and Tom, standing together is the only way they believe they can bring about the change and the security their mothers deserve. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, Outwood.
Thanks for being with us this Friday evening. Still to come on tonight's calendar.
I'm live at Hillsborough Park with tens of thousands of music lovers as this year's Tramlines Festival gets underway.
And I'm sure if you're prepared for the worst kind of weather conditions for this year's Tramlines, I'm convinced you'll have the very best of times. Full forecast a little later on.
Thank you, Kerry. Some more news from around the region now. A leisure company has admitted liability for the death of a toddler who drowned in a health club swimming pool. 3-year-old Rocco Wright died at the David Lloyd Centre in Leeds in April 2018. The company pleaded guilty to failing to ensure his safety at a hearing at Leeds Crown Court. Sentencing will take place next month.
A house in Killamarsh near Sheffield, where 3 children and a pregnant woman were murdered, has been knocked down. Damien Bendel killed his then-partner Terry Harris and her children Lacey and John Paul Bennett in September 2021 at their home. He also raped Lacey and murdered her 11-year-old friend Connie Gent. He's serving 5 whole life sentences. Well, next tonight, festival goers in Sheffield are getting ready for a soggy weekend. The Tramlines Festival opened at lunchtime in Hillsborough Park with the likes of the Kaiser Chiefs, Paul Heaton and Reverend and the Makers all on the bill.
Yes, so we sent Adam Fowler out to sample the action and Adam, well, it looks like you've been getting into the full swing of the festival.
I certainly have, Lara. When in Rome, eh? This isn't anything to do with the festival. This is just my new look, so get used to it. But yeah, here we are. I mean, it's been going since 2009. Every day up to 40,000 people coming here. They opened the doors at about midday, and I was there to speak to the first few that made it through.
Do you know what it's about being local? It's about coming to something that's very nearby. But when we saw the rundown, especially Sunday, amazing lineup.
Just live 5 minutes down the road, so it's rude not to come.
Yeah, can't wait. It's a great lineup. Hopefully the weather holds up and we'll be. It doesn't matter if it doesn't. To be fair, we've just got a free cider, so we're all right.
Well, the DMAs, the next band that are going to be on the main stage here tonight. And then after that, the headliner, Richard Ashcroft from The Verve. And over the next few days, there's all sorts. Kaiser Chiefs, the Sugar Babes, and Hull's finest, of course, Paul Heaton. No doubt there'll be a coach trip coming over from Hatfield Main Pit Club to see him. But, of course, it's not just about the big names. This is all about local artists as well. Bands like Jet Ski, who I had the good fortune to speak to earlier on after they made their debut at Tramlines. Lads, you've just come off stage. How was the gig?
Amazing. One of the best we've ever played, without a doubt. Started hammering it down, and there was nobody on apart from us, so everyone rushed into 10. Couldn't have asked for a better show. Yeah, best awesome.
Now, there's all sorts going on here, of course. It's not just the music, there's the comedy tent, there's the helter-skelters and amusements, all sorts of things. And one thing that they've done this year is get local businesses involved. There's an area called Little Hillsborough where traders can set up for free and trade with the public. I spoke to some of them earlier on.
Our shop really struggled last year because the traders weren't allowed to come in and out, so for us to have a chance to actually work inside Tramlines and be able to give people affordable festival goodies, things that kids can enjoy playing with while the parents are enjoying the music, having a bit of glitter on and just getting the festival vibe, it's just a really nice opportunity to do.
So there we go, it's all happening here at Hillsborough Park. The weather's been a bit up and down, I have to say. It's been sunny 1 minute with my shades on, and then I've got my raincoat on the next. Look at what's happened to my shoes here. Put my best shoes on, impress all these young'uns, and yeah, you could be out with a toothbrush tonight. Anyway, there's a rumour that McFly might be appearing over the weekend. I can't say anything. What I can tell you is that the plans for next year have already started.
Oh, Adam, thank you so much. Live in Sheffield there for us. And by the way, I think that beard suits you.
Certainly does. There's no such thing as bad weather, just a really bad choice of clothes. Those trainers are ruined.
Well, we shouldn't be laughing at Adam, should we? But Adam, we did tell you wellies for the weekend.
You did say last night.
I did say, and it's, well, is it only going to get worse? Well, let's have a look. Tramlines. The rain's staying to the west for now. The showers have been quite heavy in the east, but at the moment and for tonight, it's actually going to stay dry. But over the next few days, it is tomorrow. It's tonight the rain comes through, so it'll be soggy tomorrow by lunchtime, and then further spells of rain during the course of tomorrow and towards tomorrow evening. So even if Sunday does get better and there's still a bit of a question mark, it will have rained through the night Saturday into Sunday. So yes, waterproofs and wellies. And it's a shame really, because these were scenes in Sheffield earlier on this week. Plenty of blue sky. We did have some cloud. We have had some showers. And Wendy Scott, who's one of our regulars, she's got visitors at the moment. She's had visitors for pretty much the whole of July, where it's been 21 Celsius the average by day and 13 by night. The rainfall, though, it has been pretty soggy. 109% of the July rainfall at the moment, and at this point in July we'd expect around 60%. Her visitors, Sherry and Anna Marie, are from Phoenix, Arizona, and it's a massive contrast because they're having record heat. The daily max has been 43 Celsius or above for 20 days and above 34 Celsius at night. I just can't even imagine that for 10 days.
I hope they're enjoying this chilly weather.
I hope they're just enjoying the fresh heights of
they'll be really
Sheffield.
Pleased to be here.
Absolutely, I would for sure. Just a couple of photos before I leave you. The heather's coming through. Signs of late summer. A big thank you to Rose Habley for this one, and also to June Hornby for this one, and the full forecast at the end of the programme.
Oh, thanks very much.
Kerry, thank you. Well, one place you can almost guarantee good weather is Australia, and as I'm sure you're aware, there's a big football tournament taking place down under right now.
Yes, the Women's World Cup got underway yesterday, and tomorrow England begin their campaign against Haiti in Brisbane. Well, sadly, there's no Beth Mead in the team due to injury, so goal-scoring responsibilities could fall on Harrogate's Rachel Daly.
Well, before the team jetted off, Rachel caught up with our sports reporter, Chris Stokes.
Looking for Daly again! She wasn't going to miss that one.
From stopping goals to scoring them.
Last summer, Rachel Daly was a European Championship winning defender. Now she's a lioness on the attack, and the World Cup is in her sights.
At the double for Rachel Daly.
It's the biggest honour. It's a very different feeling to a Euros, I think, because it's a World Cup. You're playing against different teams from different continents and nations that you're not usually typically playing against month in, month out. So it's exciting.
Last summer you were a defender. You're a striker now. How did that come about?
I've always played up front ever since I can remember. I think it was only England youth age groups that I got moved to the back. But like I say to everyone in every interview, I'm absolutely happy to play wherever I'm needed.
What's your best position?
Probably would say a striker. It's my most comfortable position, I think.
Do you think other people would say that as well?
Yeah. I think you can see I'm playing with a smile on my face. I'm happy, I'm confident, I'm enjoying my game, and I'm happy at the minute.
No wonder. Rachel was top scorer in the Women's Super League last season with 22 goals. At 31, she's playing arguably her best football. Sadly, the man who started Rachel on her journey isn't here to see it. Her dad, Martin, passed away in September 2021.
I used to stress about games a lot. I used to worry about selection. I'd worry about playing, and I live in the moment a lot more now. I think my dad instilled that in me a little bit. Don't waste any moments.
How often do you think of your dad?
Every day, without fail, probably every hour of the day. There's definitely not a day that goes by where I don't think about him. Hopefully his legacy will live on through me.
And her legacy is helping girls' football thrive, like at the club where Rachel first started playing, Killingholm Nomads in Harrogate.
Well, when Rachel first started playing here at just 8 years old, she was the only girl on an all-boys team. They've now got over 150 girls here across 5 different age groups.
A big inspiration to all girls who play for Killingholm Nomads, as she used to play on these pitches, and now we're on these pitches. We can do the same as her too.
I think she's really good because she was in the same position as us and she plays for England now. If someone so amazing at football can come from my club, that inspires me to think that I can do it as well.
We want to give these girls someone to look up to and know that they can have dreams and live their dreams, and that's something that is close to my heart, Killingholm Nomads. So hopefully they can look up to me and have something to look inspired to be.
And no doubt they'll all be watching when Rachel and the other Lionesses kick off their World Cup campaign tomorrow morning. Chris Dawkes, ITV News.
And good luck to Rachel, of course. Well, one 10-year-old fan from Sheffield will not only be keeping a keen eye on the action when the match starts tomorrow, but she'll also be looking out for some of her handiwork.
Yeah, she certainly will. Lionesses superfan Leah Walton has been busy on her sewing machine making England-themed scrunchy hairbands. She's done it to raise money for a 4-year-old boy who's fighting an aggressive and rare form of cancer. Here's Martin Fisher.
Busy at work on her sewing machine, Leah has been making scrunchies and other England-themed creations to sell for charity. The money's going to help 4-year-old Jude, the son of former Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper Aaron Jameson.
I decided I want to help him and just try and make him better. I've done sponsored swims, I've made scrunchies and keyrings. My mum found football material, and I said, why not we make scrunchies and keyrings and sell them, because it's going for Jude and it's something else I love, which is football.
Jude has neuroblastoma, a rare and aggressive childhood cancer. The money will help fund treatment overseas that isn't available in the UK.
You don't want to see any child ill, but when you've met the lad, it means even more. He sort of cuts you deep inside, if you like. Just Leah. She can't stay still, she has to do something. She was just using any old material, just making scrunchies, keyrings or whatever. And then the wife noticed some England material with an upcoming Ladies World Cup. We decided to put them on Facebook, see if we could sell them at £1 a piece.
And Leah's efforts have caught the attention of former England international and ITV pundit Jill Scott, who sent this message.
Hi Leah, just sending you a little message to say I love your scrunchies. I've heard that you're really working hard to raise money for charity, so keep up the good work. Thanks for mine. I'll be wearing it at the World Cup. Hopefully it'll bring the Lionesses some luck.
And Leah has the backing too of current Lionesses Lucy Bronze and Ellie Roebuck, who met her while training in Spain and donated kit to auction off.
I like helping stuff. I just think I've helped him try and get better, and if it doesn't work then I'll still help him.
So while Leah hopes the Lionesses can sew up the opposition, her goal is
is to keep raising money for little Jude. Martin Fisher, ITV News in Sheffield.
It's great.
Absolutely amazing. We're looking out for those scrunchies on the telly.
Yeah, we will.
In fact, it's a good job the football's on the telly tomorrow at 10:30 here on ITV1 because the weather's looking miserable. Here's Kerry with the forecast.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Thank you. Hello again. Yes, heavy rain certainly at times as we head into the weekend, but we have seen a mixture at least during this past week across our part of the world. Some sunny spells, patchy cloud, 1 or 2 showers of which have been heavy and a few have been thundery, and quite a cloudy start this morning, but we did see that mix of sunshine and showers for the afternoon. Low pressure is to the northwest for tomorrow. It's feeding in several fronts, a really quite cloudy, wet and at times windy day before hopefully turning a bit showery, at least for some of us, into Sunday. But for tonight, we just see the cloud building from the west and the outbreaks of rain trying to push their way in. The Pennines will provide some shelter, so perhaps a little bit lighter and more broken that rain as it pushes its way eastwards. But it's cloudy and it's damp and therefore nothing too chilly overnight tonight. There is sometimes as we head into the weekend. Saturday's sun rises around 5 o'clock, setting again around 9:20. So tomorrow it's a cloudy, damp, misty and murky scene across many parts of the region first thing. There will be pulses of heavy rain during the morning. There might be a brief respite before further pulses push in from the southwest. Nothing too remarkable in terms of temperatures, and the winds will be strong and gusty where we get the heavier outbreaks. You can see another weather front pushing in for Saturday evening and the first part of Sunday, and that could sit to northern parts of our region for much of Sunday. A little bit of a debate about this system, but further south, sunshine and showers perhaps at best, but the showers could be heavy and possibly thundery. Nothing too chilly on Sunday into Monday, but a changeable outlook for next week as well, sunshine and showers.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go, whatever you're up to, sparkly beard or not, it's mixed.
Sparkly beard and wellies, that's the survival outfit for this weekend.
That could catch on, couldn't it? Glitter beards.
It could do. We'll all have one next week.
Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's lovely.